It's Bad Brad. Yes, indeed. We are live in the new digs here in Florida. And, we're going to crack open a Red Bull. We're going to let the people stream in. And we're going to have another one of our free form compadre talks. We're talking guitars today. We're talking music. Now, I apologize for it's not quite as bright as it normally is. Red Bull. Mickey, what's up, brother? Broski, what's up, brother? Mickey G in the chat, y'all. He is an amazing musician and a great dude and an amazing sax player. So if you're following the chat, subscribe to his channel. He does all kinds of creative music. He does all kinds of electronic, like ambient type stuff. And that's in addition to the fact that the guy could just straight up blow on sax. He can just straight up blow. So if you need somebody to record sax on your song, or if you want to get into the electronic side of things, hit him up, subscribe to his channel, and he's a good dude. He is one of my favorite people. When I would be on a gig in Nashville and Mickey was on the gig, I knew we were going to have fun. There wasn't going to be any nonsense, and we were going to have a good time. You are the king, Mickey. Yes, indeed. Aloha, Fu Man. How you doing? Salute, the Weekend Warrior. Salute. I'm on the bench right now, but I'm getting things straight. We're getting this house in order. I don't even have a light fixture in my room yet. So we're getting all that stuff going. I've got my small studio set up and running. And good morning, John. What's up, Doc? What's up, brother? We're getting a good little crew in here. We're going to have a good Sunday. Yes, indeed. I told my wife, I said, I know we got a lot of stuff to do. I've got a stack of things that I got to get done at the house, but I said, I got to go live. Tommy, what's up? What's happening, brother? Yes, indeed. I told my wife, I got to go live today. I missed yesterday. I've still got some videos in the pipeline, and I just shot a couple more this morning. And just a little quick teaser. Joyo, is everybody out there familiar with the company Joyo? They make pedals, right? Joyo sent me this cool little little guitar amp that you plug in, and you don't have to wear headphones or anything, and you can hear your electric guitar. So that demo is coming up soon. Shout out to Joyo. I had actually used a Joyo US Dream. Yes, Joyo, looking good. Thank you, brother. DACA 50. Yes, indeed. Hello from, what was that? What was that? I missed where you were at. The chats go fast and furious in this room. We will get the vibes pumping. We will have the groove flowing, but mostly it's about the conversation. So if you have something that you want to talk about, post it in thing. Super chat allows me to focus in on the topic, because otherwise I just start going. Boca Raton, yes, Boca Raton. Howdy, Jack. How you doing? Yes. So yeah, I got the demo of the Joyo thing coming out. I did another video. I'm going to try to do a collab with my old drummer in LA, and he is in the promotional products business. He has a company called Offbeat, and Offbeat is Joyo. Yes, Joyo effects are great, man. They are great, and they are like very affordable. And when I was on the road, this is Mickey chiming in. He's probably got some Joyo stuff. They're very affordable. You can get them on Amazon. In fact, if you want some Joyo pedals, hit the Amazon link in my description. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it helps this channel out greatly when you use my Amazon link. And you can buy anything. You buy cat litter if you want. But I had a US Dream pedal. Chris, what's up? There have been 3 or 4 Nashville player channels suggested. Seems they all have had the same type of experience. Man, there are people had to drive up to Miami International Airport, psycho drivers. Dude, yes, psycho drivers. So smash the link, bro. Hit the like, hit the link, hit the subscribe. Let's get things rocking and rolling. We're seizing the day, seize the Sunday. I didn't even put a title or a description of this chat. You know, anything goes in these chats. We can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Driving stress has been an issue. Hey, Brad, greetings from Uzbekistan. I salute you. I salute you, Uzbekistan. That is awesome. Man, it is so incredible. Have you used a Tonex pedal? Yes, Chris, I've got a lot of different videos on the Tonex. And I love Sunday Seizure. Seize the Sunday, bro. Yes, the Tonex. I've got the Tonex one, and I have the full Tonex pedal. And the Tonex, the sound of the amps, thank you. Thank you, Nietzsche's. Thank you. Please hit the thumbs up for Brad today. Yes, hit the thumbs up. Smash the likes. Hit the subscribe. If you've got a topic that you really want me to expand on, hit the super chat. In the meanwhile, yes, the Tonex. I really love the amp sounds in that pedal. What I hate is the user interface, the UI they call it. I just, you know, the Tonex is sitting in my closet right now. What I use every day in my daily driver right now is the Line 6 Pod Express. Why? Because it's just super easy. I just turn a couple knobs and I get a good tone, and I can focus on what I'm doing. Tube versus solid state. In a perfect world, I'd have tubes, and I would have somebody else carrying them for me, and I would have a brown box, so I make sure the voltage that the amps are getting are where I want them to be. When I was out on the road, Sadie, what's happening? Red guitars for everyone. When I was out on the road, every night my amp sounded different. Every single night. And I had a Furman voltage cartridge forever. Yes, I want the white glove gig. I always hear about these white glove gigs where you just roll up, gloriously, dialed and styled, and they just casually hand you your guitar, and you just go out there and rip, and then someone carries you off the stage and pampers you to the 5-star suite. That was not my experience. But yeah, the tube amps sound different every night. Do any of the bands, like the Replacements, maybe had potential but pissed it all away? I mean, we've all peed it all away at some point, right? I've had bandmates that have peed it all away. You already know Luther has that gig. Yeah, any videos on resolving to the right note while phrasing? Okay, well, the very most basic thing, and Mickey, who knows music, will tell you, because he knows more than I do on this subject, but the third is a pretty obvious note to resolve to. You might want to stop going to the 1 as your resolve note, but sometimes I understand it's unavoidable. If you're in a phrase and it's like the nearest note you can recognize, and you got to use your ear. But fifths, thirds, those are strong notes to resolve to. If you're playing over changes, that's just rudimentary 101. But 3s and 7s, okay, yeah, sevens too, yeah. Unless you're just playing a song that's just G major to C major, and then there is no 7, so if you play the 7 against that tonic, you might have some rubbing going on, but a little rubbing's a good thing. Yes, indeed. So yeah, we're tackling all kinds of rapid fire. By the way, I just took down all my music from all the streaming files. I'm just so tired of being a part of this evil machine. Nietzsche's, I hear you. I hear you. I'm thoroughly disgusted with all the streaming, the amount of money coming in. You'd be much better off, doing YouTube or TikTok or something like that. It just seems like it is. It's why I haven't put out any new music. Now I know with now getting this YouTube going and everything, I might have to put out something, maybe just a song or something. But yeah, the streaming services, it's not good. There's no money in that. There's no money in it. I need this caffeine. It spurs the chat. Let me know what you. So again, getting back to the tube amp thing. Every night the voltage would vary. Yes, thank you. I'll show this to my wife. Awesome. Every night the voltage thing would have a different, it'd be 120, or some days it'd be like 127, or some days it would be 115. And what I noticed is when the voltage would be lower than 120, the amp tended to sound better to my ears. And so voltage makes a huge difference in the sound of your amp. Now I know guys are using that brown box and all that stuff. Man, I don't want to have to carry any more pieces than I have to. So live, Jeff McCardle, have you tried the new chocolate Red Bull? I'm not a huge chocolate fan, so I don't think. My favorite is this watermelon one. I like it. It's just, it's got the right flavor to it. It's not too strong. Regular Red Bull is it's a little harsh. But yeah, these caffeinated beverages is what you need to keep the conversation flowing, man. So I hope everybody is having a good Sunday. We got to make sure the do is styled. Now I got to make sure my wig is, I got to make sure my wig is on right, man. Got to make sure it's right, bro. Okay, just saw a Buckethead in a cavern in Tennessee. Yeah, that's that venue. What up, Black 22? Mr. Hardiman, how you doing? Now, if you are if you're in the Nashville area and you need video production, subscribe to Black 22 Productions. He's in the chat right here. Subscribe to his channel. He's an amazing producer of video, audio, all that stuff. And he's also a killer guitar player. Would a Variac work better on live gigs? You are the man. Hey, Mr. Hardiman, thank you. Yes, add Black 22 Productions. If you need video editing, anything, Eric Blue is in the house. Hardiman is here. If you need a keyboard player in Nashville, everybody subscribe to Eric Blue. And I'm going to give you a plug right now. Eric, me and Eric did an album called Midnight Glow. And it is like Steely Dan meets R&B. And I suggest if anybody, is a fan of yacht rock, Steely Dan, just really good players. We've got Keith Carlock on the album. We've got Victor Wooten on the album. We've just got a plethora of amazing players. Paul Chapman, who I talk about on this Chapman, is playing bass on that. Check out Midnight Glow, Eric Blue, Spotify, YouTube, anything. Just listen to the whole album. It is a masterpiece. So if anybody wants to hear some of the stuff that I produced, check that album out. All right, we got 22 people in here. We got 5 thumbs up. Now, if anybody was on the last 2 Sundays that I did, X5 podcast was popping in. Now these were later in the afternoon Sundays. Nashville feels like a Hollyland, man. You need to check out Nashville. You need to, from Uzbekistan. Yeah, come to Nashville, man. Check it out. You'll be amazed at how much music is there. So everybody, I lost my train of thought. It's time for a sip of Red Bull. Had Sturgill's new album on repeat. Yeah, I hear that album's really good. Put Eric Blue in that queue, man. Let's get that album heard, because we produced it and it came out right like a month or 2 before COVID. And then all of a sudden, it's like nobody knew what to do. You couldn't go play gigs. We couldn't shoot videos. We did one video called 58 Takes for that album, and it's a cool video. You'll see me in it. You'll see Paul that I talk about, the bass player on that. It's got Wes Little on drums. It's a cool video, and Black 22 Productions produced and shot that video. And it was shot at a studio called, it's called Welcome to 1979. Yes, killer studio. If you're a fan of old school music studios, man, you got to check out, X5 is in the house. Now, I was just talking about X5. X5 has been on here the last couple Sundays. X5, I reached out to you. We're going to potentially do something in the future. I'm going to go on their podcast. We're going to have some fun. We're going to tell some stories, and we're going to have some laughs. Because, if you're not having a good time, you're just wasting time. Now, we used to have a friend, and he used to always, if you're not having fun, Eric, what's happening? Hey, brother, Brad, lurking and working at Barnsider Smokehouse in Lake George, New York. I salute you, Weekend Warriors. I salute you. Man, your channel's been awesome for a Weekend Warrior like myself. X5 is awesome. Yes, X5 is a great channel. Everybody go add them. Man, I love their stuff, and I watched a lot of the Steel Panther video because X5 is in the house. God bless you guys. Are awesome. Thank you so much. Everybody in this channel right now, go to X5 and subscribe to their podcast. There's some crazy, crazy guys. Now, those guys are comedians, and I've always wanted to be a comedian. And, I've got some great stories. X5, you're awesome. Thank you. X5 is like, it seems like it's like based off of, and I've tried to figure out, who are these guys? Who is this X5, right? And X5 is like all these like comedians, and there's like a comedy club based in Birmingham that they're all kind of, thank you, Tim. What's up, brother? Thank you, brother. Toronto Scene is in the house. X5 has got all these like comedians, and it's tied into this comedy club in Birmingham. See, I do my research when I gotta potentially work with somebody or do something. I want to know. Who are these people? What's going on? And I think some really interesting stories. Yeah, X5. Everybody go to X5 right now and subscribe. I think I've got some great stories about comedy. Because when I moved out to LA, I used to go to the Comedy Store all the time. And man, I saw legends. I saw them before anybody even knew who Andrew Dice Clay was. I had seen him probably 6 or 7 times. I thought he was the greatest thing since sliced bread, and just hilarious. But it was one of those things where his comedy was just so hardcore and so non-PC that when he got so huge that it tried to become this mainstream thing, man, people just, he got banned from MTV and all that. Now, some of the other people that I saw there, I saw Sam Kinison one night, a legendary night. I might even save this story for my channel and potentially, if I go to X5s. But, here's the story, though. Here's the setup for that story. Sam Kinison, Tommy Lee, Heather Locklear, and they're sitting at a table right in front of 58 Takes. Eric Blue, go listen to it. Me and Brett Scallions are sitting here watching your live this morning at the Lake House. Yes, indeed. Brett Scallions is the man, y'all. Let me tell you something. X5 is cool as shh. But so Tommy Lee, Heather Locklear, and Sam Kinison, and maybe one other like flunky or something, or maybe a bimbo. But we're at the Comedy Store, and me and my dad, it was like a Monday, they call it the Monday Night Maggots, right? Because it was free to get in. So we would go, hey man, it's Monday. Let's go to the Comedy Store. It'd be like the thing to do, and it's cheap. You just get 2 drinks, So we go in, they put us at this table, and we're kind of like elevated, like a little bit further back. But there was like a booth right in front of us, and we're kind of looking down and seeing and go, dude, that's Tommy Lee. That's Heather Locklear. There's Sam Kinison. Like, dude, we're sitting like we could pretty much hear what they're talking about, and it was hilarious. And I've talked in my videos about being broke on the road, and all the ups and downs of the music business and all that craziness. And that is a story, because I'm not going to tell the whole story now, but at one point, the waitress comes over to Tommy Lee and says, hey, I'm getting ready. Daryl, what's happening? The coffee and Bad Brad, Red Bull and Bad Brad. So the waitress comes over to Tommy Lee and says, hey, I'm getting ready to leave for the night. So-and-so is going to take your tab. Can we close out? And he goes, yeah. So he gives the waitress his credit card. This is Tommy Lee, right? And she comes back and she goes, I'm sorry, sir, your card's been declined. That's like, dude, this is not Motley Crue, like, struggling in the clubs. This is like Heather Locklear, Tommy Lee, prime era of Motley Crue, and this guy's credit card is bouncing. It's bounce. It's like a basketball slammed down to the ground, and we were just like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "How is this?" But then I think about, I'm sure those guys were making crazy money, but he's partying. He's not being responsible. He's not probably even looking at the credit card bill. Like, he probably just maxed it out and just didn't even know, and there's more to that story. Who knew you? Yeah, well, you can if you go to the ATM, right? You get those multiple, sir, you've been withdrawing $100 every hour. Is there, you get the call the next day or whatever, but man, that was one of those things that I'll never forget, is his card getting declined. And I'm just like, and then Sam Kinison is there, and the story goes on and on and on. So here we go with the Red Bull. We got X5 in the house. We got Eric Blue in the house. We got Mr. Tim Hardiman in the house from Black 22 Productions. Hey, X5, if you need some video production, or you want to do some stuff in the Nashville area, hit up Black 22 Productions. I believe, Tim, you're with CMT, I believe, as well. I don't know, 20% interest on, yeah, use your credit card to get cash, so you have to pay a 20% interest on top of the stupid decisions that you make. Also, that you can stay up all night saying things and blabbering and like an idiot, right? Blithering like an idiot. We are having a blast here this morning. We're closing out the month strong. It's Bad Brad in the house. We're talking music. We're talking gigs. We're talking guitars. We're talking whatever you want to talk about. Still with CMT, we'll be going full-time with Black 22 and a new guitar company in the not-too-distant future. Well, Tim Hardiman, I'd be more than happy to demo one of your guitars, sir. I salute you. I see 17 thumbs and 25 watchers. That means we got some slackers out there here today. Financing stupidity. We'll make it happen, Captain. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I got Joyo, right? So I started off, I got the first company that sent me stuff was GoCo, and they're kind of a startup pedal company. And I put out 3 little demos of their pedals, and then I've got one more that's got to come out on that. And then Joyo reached out. I guess I'm just working my way up the chain. Next maybe come Squire, maybe. Meanwhile, I was trying to tell the Joyo guy, he's like, I'm gonna send you this little, headphone amp, and this thing sounds pretty cool if we're just plugging in and just, like for taking and jamming in the hotel room and stuff like that. But I was like, dude, I need stuff that I can like, really, really like the US Dream pedal, the US Dream pedal. Man, that, you know what that is? It's a Sir Riot pedal. It's the same essentially sound. And so when I was going on the road and I didn't want to buy an expensive pedal to put on my board that would get beer poured on it and blood and puke and whatever else happens on the road. I said, man, just get this US Dream, put it on there, boom, you step on it, it knocks you in the teeth, and then that's all you need. The Lobster Savages are leaving town. Okay. Fu Man is in the house. We got the Red Bull. We got 27 people. We got X-Man, X5 podcast. We got Eric Blue. We got Black 22. We got some players in here today. We got some people that got stories of their own. I know Eric Blue's got a few stories. I'm not sure he's ready to divulge the information yet. And, John Billings was on here one day and he's like, I was like, yeah, you could probably tell a lot of stories about me. He says, yeah, my channel's going to be all bad Brad all day. But, I'm trying to reform myself. I've got a family. At 57 years old, I've got a child, a 3-year-old, if y'all can imagine that. Man, that's harder. That's a harder job than getting on a tour bus with a bunch of jackapes. If you, getting on a tour bus, I got my own like names that I call people. Jackanape is a word that was in the English language for many, many years, and it's not used that much. X5, tell Brett, Tommy from Georgia said, what's up? Man, I tell you what, X5 is cool as hell. They have lit these, they have lit this channel up every Sunday for 3 Sundays in a row. Man, I owe those guys because every time my wife says, oh, I'll tell her, I'm like, look, I gotta go live. I tried to go live yesterday, but no, I'm putting together chairs. I'm doing this. I've got my closet of doom back here. Now I'll give you guys a little sneak peek. I got the closet of doom. I got all my, not all of them, but I got a good selection of guitars back here that I can pull out and record some stuff. And I'll be, getting the air gigs fired up. I'll probably do a special and try to get that fired up again. It seemed like when COVID hit, there were all these people with all this like extra money, like COVID money. And all of a sudden I was doing like online sessions like through the whole COVID thing. And then when that money dried up, people were like, I got stuff to do. And here I sit watching Bad Brad. Hey, we all got stuff to do, right? I got so much stuff to do, it's overwhelming. And this is actually a release for me because after this, the wives and stuff, they don't understand what we do. They don't understand the mental toll, the physical toll, and they don't understand that we have to do this. We don't have another choice in this matter. And I told her, I said, I gotta go live today. Oh, well, but we need to go look at lighting and we need to go do this. I got lighting. I got something grabbed from Amazon that I just propped up on a case. I don't even have a light fixture in this room right now. It's just bare bones here. And I don't have any sound deflection or anything. And I was just so elated yesterday because I was able to put my monitors up and my desk and my computer and a little modeler here and just plug in my guitar and throw up a backing track and just see if I even, remembered how to play. Because I was practicing at the last place, but I didn't even get to plug it in, man. I was just, doing finger exercises, and it's like it's a whole different ball game when you're getting chord changes thrown at you like a slider, like a catfish hunter slider, getting whipped out. Oh shit, E flat. Oh, A flat. Oh, and you're dodging bullets like Tommy Lee dodging a waitress's credit card requests, right? So the funny thing of addendum to that story is when she told him his card was declined, guess who had to pull her card out? Oh yeah, Heather Locklear had to. Oh well, here you go. And she pulled hers out, right? Now I don't think she was ever as much of a partier as those guys. I don't think she obviously had a taste for bad boys. My wife's cooking is so bad, I pray after I eat. Now that's a good one, Larry. That is a good one. My wife can cook good Italian food. That's her specialty, But we have different tastes in food. I like spices. I like things with kick. I like stuff that she just can't eat. So I'll keep a bottle of hot sauce. We got a situation here. We got a situation over here, right? So, talk about accents and stuff. So one of my first, mine is bad. I pray before I eat it. Oh my God. I tell you what, man, Tommy Lee's mind is still stuck at 15. Dude. Yeah, here's the thing, man. And they'll tell you this like in rehab, and I've heard the whole psychology of it is the year you start like drinking and partying, that is the year that you're stuck at until you get sober. Now I don't drink anymore, but I'll have a Red Bull and I'll if I need to take the edge off, I know how to do that, right? But drinking it doesn't really interest me anymore. It just doesn't interest me. I didn't have to go to rehab and do it. I just said, you know what? It's easier if I don't do this. It's just easier because it's like when you're not trying to go out and carouse, when you're not trying to go out and pick up chicks and act like, yeah, well, damn, I'm stuck in 1982. Hey, I think I did enough damage that I'm probably stuck at like 86. That's mentally where my mind is. And until I got married, it was the same, man. I go out on the road and it's like, and I didn't realize that, these younger generations, they don't have the same mindset as these, us that grew up in the 80s. If we're going to go into this, I used to tell people, and the younger kids, and like, well, what are we going to do? I said, we are going to go in this bar and we're going to dominate. We are going to dominate. Well, what do you mean? We're going to go in here and Ryan, what's happening, brother? We're going to go in this bar and we're going to dominate. We are going to be the life of the party. And even though 5 minutes ago you were about to kill me because you were so angry at something I said or did or whatever, we are going to go in this bar and dominate. And I would teach these younger kids out on the roads like, man, let's go in and be the life of the party. I see. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you so much. Yes, we're really digging the new house. It's nice. We got a lot of work still to do. Sounds and looks just fine. Yes, indeed. We got Uzbekistan in the house. I mean, come on. This is the reach of YouTube is incredible. It is incredible. 29 people in here. Smash those thumbs. Hit that subscribe button. Let's rock and roll. We got the Red Bull, chat right now. This is a poor man's Bolivian, right? And this fuels this chat. We're having a good time in here. We're talking about music. We're talking about guitars. We're talking about partying. We are the same age, so your stories hit home. I get so many people. I used to buy cigarettes from Uzbekistan online. Wow. Now, I've never heard that one. I know people back in the day would buy Marlboros in Tijuana. Now that's now that brings back some memories, right? Because back when I kind of first got out to California, I met some people and kind of had some friends that lived south of LA. And so they said, "Oh man, you never been to TJ? Oh man, we got to go to TJ." So it used to be a thing where we would drive down to the border, keep all the paperwork for your appliances. Yes, we would drive down to the border and park our car on the American side, and then walk across through the little metal swinging gate. I mean, it used to be just a real low tech thing. It was just this little swinging gate, and you walk in, and all of a sudden you're in Mexico. It's a whole different thing. Can't figure out why all my Nashville friends moved down to the Tampa area. It's a thing. I don't know, man. I didn't have any intention of leaving Nashville. I was fine doing what I was doing. And, it's just opportunity for my wife that we just couldn't. Cheap cigarettes and the donkey show. Did you eat any barbecued iguana in Tijuana? No, and I never saw a donkey show. But I did see things in the strip clubs down there that would just make you go, what? It was mind blowing. I mean, it was the late 80s. There was a lot of things to be scared about and worried about. And I saw a lot of these soldiers. Is it a naval base down there or Air Force base? And they would go across the border for one. You only had to be hurt. Tijuana ain't what it was, but none of us are. Yeah, I don't think I just noticed, like, seeing some videos of just trying to get in and out of there now. It's crazy. You got all these people that are from US that go and rent apartments in Tijuana and then cross the border to work every day and then go back because it's so much cheaper. But of course, then that brings the rent up. Todd Goldfinger, rock and roll and party every day. Many blessings. Thank you, Todd. Thank you. Happy, healthy, holy Sunday. Yes, indeed. It is a holy day. It is a good day. And, we're having a good time on this channel. We got 31 people in here. We're having a good time. X5 is in the house. We got Black 22 Productions. We're talking about Tijuana. Now, man, I mean, you got to be careful down there, dude. Here in Baltimore on the block, you could see the ladies do the coin machine with a roll of quarters. Yeah, man, Baltimore. Now, that's a place that I never got to experience. And man, I hear the stories about Baltimore, and Baltimore is a shell of the madness that it was before. Man, that place was off the chain. If I'd have known that it was like that, but man, those East Coast, man, it's crazy. Happy for y'all's new place. Thank you, Mr. Sasquatch. I appreciate it. We're glad to be here, glad to be anywhere at this point, man. That moving process. Dude, I was literally like every case, every tote, everything, because we had some movers that brought some things. Hammer Jacks. Yes, Hammer Jacks was the rock and roll club in Baltimore. And man, I've watched a lot of clips of bands there, and man, that looks like it was a whole other scene. Like, I didn't realize that the East Coast had all their metal bands and stuff, that while we were out in LA doing what, the LA thing was, man, the East Coast thing was probably even popping even more. Just, because it's the thing about East Coast and West Coast. If you think of it from a jazz perspective, Quarters and Bananas on Okinawa, More Crazy Marines, whole new meaning to banana cream pie. Wow. Yeah, I mean, dude, there's so many crazy. Went to Hammer Jacks in '87, pretty rockin', and I'm originally from San Jose. Hammer Jacks, man. Cheers to Hammer Jacks. Man, I wish we could go back to having all these great music scenes. Nashville may be, one of the, wow, Kiss played Hammer Jacks. It's like, Nashville has this vibrant music scene, but it's really just, bar bands kind of playing for the drunks, tourists that come to town. They're not like trying to get record deals. They're not really writing their own songs. Now there's songwriters there and studio guys, but that's a whole different other thing. And they just tore down Omni Sound, which was one of the big studios on Music Row. The property was so valuable that they just said, we'll just tear it down, build something else. Did you ever play Club La Vela in Panama City Beach? Man, had some good times in the 90s and early 2000s. Yes, I did play Club La Vela, probably in like 2013. It was not the rager that it was back in those 90s MTV days. But man, the younger guys in the bus were telling me, "Oh man, this was all on MTV, and they were the pool and the whole thing right there. It was off the chain." But we played at Club La Vela like during the day, like 1 or 2 o'clock or something like that. And Luke Bryan was playing at the place next door, like a free concert on the beach, maybe an hour after we played. That was absolutely insanity. That was absolutely packed. But we were almost like, playing an opening slot at the club next door. So we had a decent crowd, but I mean, you can't compete with Luke Bryan. I mean, he's gonna have a packed house. All right, we got the Red Bull. We got 24 in here right now. Let's smash those thumbs up. If anybody has something they want to talk about, hit me up in the things. I will try to get to the topic. Let's have a little sip. Let's keep the things ruminating. So I used to always think, I know X5 podcast, they're based in comedy. They're comedians. And I used to always kind of think, man, what if I put together a comedy act? What if I went and did stand-up? And these guys, comedians work their material. They think of things, they write things down, they work on the delivery. It's kind of like a composition, a musical composition. You ever played Chattanooga or North Georgia? I'm sure I have. Yes, I have played Chattanooga. Somewhere on the beach, Burton South, Rocket Club, Tampa, House of Rock. The comedy thing, man. But it's like Eruption. Eddie Van Halen's big solo. That, to me, I didn't really think of it as a composition, but it is a composition. Now, he varied that composition over the years until it resulted in what was recorded. And then what was recorded was regarded as Eruption. But if you listen to versions of that before, he was creating that solo to that point, right? And so at that point, until he recorded it, it was a kind of an improvised solo with maybe that tapping part that he had worked out. But my approach to comedy was, what if you just get up there and you don't have any jokes? What if you just crank out a Red Bull and see what happens? I mean, it's kind of like this, right? It's kind of like, I know that I'm probably going to be on here for an hour until the wife goes, hey, I need you to help unload the car or whatever happens, right? But it's kind of like, the same thing with playing a gig. Eric Blue will tell you this, you don't want dead air. You don't want to just be sitting there, what do you want to play next? No, you want to go boom, 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 right into the next song. And one way that we would do that in Nashville, we would operate with no set lists. Can you imagine? My mom would go, oh, well, what songs are you going to play tonight? I don't have any idea. What do you mean? We don't have a set list. I don't know. We'll get there and we'll take a look at the crowd. And I think a comedian, probably the good ones, the ones that are really good and really experienced, they don't have it worked out either. If you go up there and go, I'm going to do this joke, and then I'm going to do this joke, and then I'm going to do this joke, well, what happens if it's just bombing? What if the topic sequence that you've put together It's just straight up bombing. And it's the same thing with a band with a set list. You know, even the stylistically, you could get to the gig and go, oh man, this crowd is like really old, or this crowd is really young, or this, and you're gonna have to adjust. And I think it's the same thing with comedy. If you're a really good comedian, man, you've got to look at your crowd and go, what is going to work with this crowd? And you've got to make adjustments really quickly. Check out Ian Bagg. He's pretty much works the crowd. Funny as hell. I'm going to have to check that out. I mean, it's Andrew Dice Clay. Now, he had a routine. But, if somebody chimed in and heckled him, he had his comebacks. He had some really bawdy ones about, I don't bother you when you're mopping up, splooge at the peep show. So I'd appreciate it. He'd do stuff like that, and so that he had his routines. And like for me, the nursery rhymes thing, I mean, that kind of got old pretty quick. But, it seemed like he was kind of riffing, but using his riffs, kind of like Keith Richards would go out and kind of crank out his riffs, but maybe vary some parts here and there. And I wonder about, are there any, there's crowd work. There's Don Rickles, right, who was a master at insult comic, right? Like Triumph, the insult comic. Hi from the home of Marshall Amps, UK. Man, I hope Marshall Amps make a huge comeback. I'd be counseled harder than Owen Benjamin trying to do comedy today. You can't be funny anymore because everyone's offended. Man, that is a big thing. A lot of comedians are complaining about that. I almost feel like you should, if you enter a comedy club, they should make you sign a form saying what you're about to hear is not in intent to harm you or injure you or misgender you or anything else. This is a comedy club, and if you don't like that, get the heck out. Here's a waiver. Sign this waiver, okay? If you're offended, too bad, right? Because the best comedians, man, will be ripping on everybody. They'd be ripping on white people, they'd be ripping on black people and everything else. And like you said, a lot of that stuff would not be allowed in a lot of places. But, comedy, the best comedy is probably really just an underground. Earl, what's happening? Hope you can get on Peter Thorne's Sunday Live later today. I don't know if I'll be able to do that, Earl, because my wife has an appointment to go look at lighting today. Good morning from Oregon, physical comedy, Laurel and Hardy. I like the Three Stooges. I make my daughter watch that. If I have to sit down and watch something, I'll say, hey, let's watch the Three Stooges. And she gets, she doesn't understand it fully, but I'm like, this is slapstick. They're not really hurting each other. They're just, it's like mock injury humor, All right. Earl, what's happening? Man, I love Pete Thorne, though. And you know what? I've had people say I'm Pete Thorne's dad. I'm not quite that old, but I get it. We got the same kind of... I've got to find somebody here in Wesley Chapel. Brad's activity coordinator has plans for him. Yes, I had somebody say the activity coordinator and what was it? The... activity coordinator and Lord of Shoes and Finances, right? My activity coordinator has plans. Yeah, I had to literally go, I am going live today. Just tell me when I can go. So there, Rodney Dangerfield, king of one-liners. You compliment each other's perspective. Yes, and Pete is very active. Pete Thorne is very active. Sean, what's happening? Pete Thorne is very active on here. And man, I've been watching his channel for years, and he is a great player. He writes really great demos for his videos, and like it's the same thing with the, I'm different. I'm an improviser, right? So I don't, I'll write a song or I can write a riff or I can do that. But I much prefer to just plug in and go. And sometimes it's magic. and sometimes it's not. But that's when you're improviser. That's kind of what, that's kind of the way it goes. It really depends on, and look, you can feel terrible and go out there and have the night of your life on stage. And look at Michael Jordan's famous flu game. He was a wreck, dude. He was a wreck, but he went out there and got the job done. I used to think sometimes when I would go to work or I'd go to a gig and I knew I didn't get enough sleep the night before, I knew I had drank too much the night before, I used to think that, and it may have been true, but I would try so much harder because I knew that I was coming in at 60% or I was coming out at 50%. So I would go out there and I would work even harder because I knew I didn't want anybody to think I was slipping. Just sitting back enjoying the show, drinking my cup of black coffee. Sadie, thank you so much. We really appreciate you being here. We're enjoying the chat. We're having a good time. Morning from Nashville. Cody, how you doing? Are you gigging this weekend? Are you gigging or swigging, right? I'm swigging right now, man. I'm swigging. How do you feel when you see a guitar player in the audience watching you from the audience? Okay. In the 80s, mid 80s, late 80s, it'd be this. They'd be standing there. Not like and subscribe. Yes. In the 80s, every guitar player would be in the crowd, arms folded, expressionless. You'd know that they were a guitar player because they would be giving you nothing. They used to have a joke. How many guitar players does it take to screw in a light bulb? And the answer is one, but all the other ones stand there and go, yeah, I could do it better. It was the toughest thing to do is play with a room full of guitar players. And some of my, if Eric is still here, or some of my other friends that I did gigs with, the same can be said for, I could be, a lot of gigs that I did in Nashville. I was playing a lot of R&B gigs, a lot of corporate, gigs and stuff like that. And sometimes I'd be the lone Caucasian in the band, right? Now, if we were playing our R&B dance stuff and it was an all-white crowd, man, we could pretty much do no wrong. People, how many women does it take to change the light bulb? I'm not going to touch that one but the world revolves around them. Yes, Mike, he's got that answer. The crowds make a big difference. Old white people, we'd have this band and it'd be all, black guys and black girls and me on guitar. And man, they'd be dancing and just, they just give it up right away. But man, you take that exact same band, killer band, but you put them in front of an all black audience, and man, that first 30 minutes, 45 minutes to an hour, they're going to be sitting there. Oh yeah. Oh, I don't know. You think they good? You good? They all right. They all right. They kind of looking at, they all right. And then maybe after about an hour and 15 minutes, then all of a sudden, no rehearsals, plug and play. If we screw up, they can't say they weren't warned. Then if you can win that crowd over, you can win the all black crowd. And like I said, it's not like we were a bunch of, white dudes playing in a black club. They're talking like, 99% of the band is black. And they'll tell you, said, man, it's the toughest crowd to play for is an all black audience because they don't just give it up unless you're bringing it. So, man, we know we're gonna have to step up and we're gonna have to play. And we win them. We always won them over. We always did. But I had a similar situation where I played like a VFW hall, and it was an all black band except for me on guitar. And we had like two of the Wooten brothers and, a good band. We had a great band. And we're at this VFW hall and the audience is looking kind of redneck. You know, I'm seeing some couple cowboy hats and cowboy boots and, you know, and all this. And they start, you know, doing no set list, but, you know, doing the R&B, like the stuff. And man, they're just sitting there. And I'm like, now wait a minute. This is a whole different thing, right? So at some point after maybe about 4 songs, the band leader looks at me and goes, "Man, do something, do something." So I go and while enjoying wine and riding into what closely watched a good soul player at a winery. All right. So he goes, "Man, do something. Help, you know, like save us, save us." So no, we didn't do Rawhide, but I was like, you know, and my repertoire, I'm not even like a classic rock guy as far as repertoire goes these days. Like it's been years since I've played Walk This Way or, you know, or a Stranglehold or all the stuff that I did play at one time. It's been years since I've done that. And this was no exception. This was even before I did that stuff. And so, but I had played in a little bar band in Nashville, and the guy would do Margaritaville, and I was just kind of the lead guitar player. So I learned songs on the gig. So I just kicked into Margaritaville, and all of a sudden the whole crowd got up and everybody's dancing. And it's just like, you know, it's like, and I think I probably did 3 or 4 or 5 songs in a row, just what's happening. Billy Blaze is in the house, y'all. We got a killer crowd in here. We got 28 people. We got 40 likes. Smash that like button. If you have a topic you want me to get, you know, in depth with, hit that super chat and I will pontificate to your heart's delight. But in the meanwhile, we got the Red Bull kicking, right? Delicious and nutritious, right? I gotta have the caffeine. You know, it's like there's the Jackie Chan movie, Drunken. What is it called? Y'all know this, Drunken Master, right? Now it always fascinated because I would hear about this drunken monkey kung fu and stuff, and hearing about there was a monk and he was locked up. And he looked in the courtyard, and he saw a drunk, you know, drop his jug of wine or rice wine or whatever, and he saw a primate come along and drink the wine, and then proceed to imitate the drunk. But then another monkey tried to come and get the bottle, and the monkey like rolled and struck the guy, and it's like supposedly that's where the drunken monkey kung fu comes from, right? So you have this Celestian impulse response. Brantley Gilbert last night. All right, Burl. All right. So this drunken monkey kung fu, you know, thing. Okay, Billy Blaze is asking, why do cover bands play the same wore out songs? Well, it's very easy to play the songs that people seem to like. You know, it's very easy to fall into that. And the songs that you know. Would you give her something to think about stepping back into playing? What was the back part of that question? If you're trying to get back into playing, that's whether you're playing at home or you're trying to get into a band. That would be my question. Are you trying to play at home or get into a band? You know, the main thing is to just do it, right? Start playing your guitar. You go on Facebook, there's whatever area you're in. Look up, there might be a musicians group or there might be a local band, and you can hit them up and go, hey, you know, you guys need a player or you know, or whatever, or introduce yourself to players. It's about making connections. So that would be my advice. Got to bounce, bud. Thank you, Tim. Thanks for popping in. Black 22. I want everybody to add him if you need audio and video work. And he's got a new guitar company coming out. I can't wait to see it. I know it's going to rock. Thank you, Tim. We're at 59 minutes and 27 seconds. So unless there's some pertinent super chats and whatever, I may have to bounce and start putting together this chairs that my wife, Glorious Stories in chat. Good morning from Orange County. Man, that's God's country out there in Orange County. Man, I love California. It's not the same as it was. I'm late getting in here. Yes, Billy. Are you in Tampa? I'm pretty close to Tampa. That's the big city, the closest that I'm to. I'm a little bit outside of the city, but yeah, I'm in this Dallas Fort Worth, Texas, man. Texas. Thank you, Earl. Thank you so much. I think I'm gonna bounce out of here pretty soon unless somebody's gonna hit that super chat button. It's probably time for me to get that stuff. Have a good day. T. Lindsay, thank you so much. Thank you, I'm in Phoenix. Have a good day. Thank you, City Drums. I'm always happy to have a good drummer in the house, right? Thanks. Thank you, brother. Yes, indeed. Let's finish this Red Bull. We'll finish this Red Bull. But I'm going to get back to talking about that. Thank you, Jet City. The Drunken Master thing. So in the Drunken Master, he's just a regular guy, right? But as soon as he takes a sip of his drink, all of a sudden he becomes this magical, mystical, thank you, Phil. It becomes this magical, mystical thing, right? So back in the day when I used to drink, I'd always have, I'd be playing and all of a sudden I'd reach back and I'd take that drink and all of a sudden, I'd just start loosening up. Love listening to you. Thank you. Good luck with everything. Let us know when you gig. My son is at college in Tampa. All right. I definitely will. We're, now I don't drink. So this is my Talus that I drink and kick it in. Eric, thank you so much. Everybody have a great day. I'm going to bounce to the ounce. Thank you, X5. Everybody subscribe to X5. Subscribe to this channel. And I'll see you in the next one. I'll have a video out probably every day this week around 8 a.m. So stay tuned to the channel. More cool stories, more cool stuff. Thank you so much. Didn't remember the last two sets. I've been there. X5 is in the house. Thank you, X5, again. Thank you, everybody. I'm out. I'm going to go put together a bar stool. Sounds like fun, right? All right, you guys have a good day, and I'll see you on the next one.